Good morning, good evening. Hi, Ginny. Look, good to see you again, and welcome everybody who is watching this candid talk with Ginny Jones and myself, Heather Ellis. Thank you for just completely tuning up, because between Ginny and I, we have, well, a huge scroll of topics that we're going to bring to you each week. So deeply thank you, Ginny, for being here.
Thank you, Heather. And yeah, lovely to be here with you chatting. I actually really enjoy what we're doing and talking about our experiences and whatever comes to mind, really.
Absolutely.
And welcome everyone else too for coming along and watching us and listening.
So Ginny and I get together for about 2 minutes before we press the record button, and we just simply tune up and say, well, what are we going to talk about today?
Yeah.
And it could be an event that she's had through the week, or since we saw each other last, and also me. But what I love about it today is it was just one word that came out, and that was, well, actually two: dreams and land, and labels, actually three. So Ginny, share with me how your week's been.
Okay, well, my week has been very good. It's been very, very busy. If we go to dreams, I actually had quite a weird dream this morning. And I believe that dreams mean things. I also believe if you're good at interpreting dreams, and this is all about going within for you, your personal interpretation of a dream, that dreams can be a release of perhaps any stress or emotions that you might be going through, or they could be something that perhaps is coming that you need to work on, that you're being shown in a dream. And also, I've also had dreams that, and I remember one when I was about 19, and it doesn't actually mean anything significant, but what it does tell me is that dreams also can show you the future. Because when I was about 19, I remember dreaming that I was in my car and I was the driver, and I was pulled up outside someone's house, and I looked to the side of me, and there was someone sat beside me, and I couldn't see their face in my dream, so I didn't know who it was. And then I looked back, and I saw two people sat behind, and a little child in the middle who was reaching out over the back of the car towards the back window, and I couldn't see any of their faces. And I don't know why this dream happened to stick in my mind. But anyway, about 2 or 3 years after that, that exact scenario played out. I pulled up outside a house. My friends were in the car. My friend's little daughter was in the back. And that vision actually came. I looked to the side, saw my friend sat there, looked at the back, saw the two people and the baby reaching over at the back. And it triggered in my mind, my goodness, I've dreamt that. Premonition. Yeah. So, and I also believe, that when people have deja vu,
yes,
quite often that can be actually you've dreamt it. You might have actually been there in a past life, but you could have actually dreamt it as well. Going back to some of my other dreams, I feel, and I haven't been proven this or anything, but I have had over the years some very dramatic dreams. I remember one dream I actually witnessed a girl being stabbed. And when I woke up, I actually thought that I really had witnessed that. And I think I was astral traveling. But at the time, I didn't understand it. So I probably had witnessed that, not knowing where it was or where in the world it was or what happened, what the outcome was or anything like that. Quite often you can dream you're a fly on the wall as well. Also looking in, can't you, at different things going on. Dreams are fascinating things. So yeah, I've been having a few dreams lately. The one I had this morning was very weird.
I did too. 2 days ago, I woke up. I normally get up around about 5 o'clock, but this particular morning, I kind of went back to sleep. So when I go back to sleep, that's when I dream. And then when you awake or you're awoken, you're actually still in that dream and it stays with you through the day.
Yeah.
You know, Ginny, as I was listening to you, you know, you're going to be prompting everybody in their dream state. I've always said that most of our work as a healer, we do most of our work at nighttime when we're in our dream state. You know, this is another sharing with our experiences.
Yeah.
You know, we can dream about land, premonition, foretelling. But I personally, in my dream state, even when I'm walking through the day or going out somewhere, or a thought will drop in, and you're awake and you're seeing what's happening, a piece of land, or as you're driving along, a thought will jump into your mind, there's going to be a car accident, and 9 times out of 10 it happens.
Yeah, I've had that loads. Yeah.
So Ginny, you know, let's tap into this discernment, especially when it comes to land and labels, actually.
Yeah.
For me this week, you know, I struggle with the labeling. You know, what do you call yourself? Forever I'm going over to my website. What do you call yourself? Well, actually, you're everything. How can you label something that is clear Gnostic and what Spirit wants you to do right there, right then? You know, we, between us, 80 years plus between us and our experiences and the stories that we can tell about land clearing.
Yeah.
And I know that we're investigators because we like kind of blood and guts, and we can stand on a piece of land and we are told.
Yeah.
You know, I've found bodies, I've found articles, I'm there, and the whole, it just comes into me, and it's so very real because we haven't gone anywhere. So how would you describe, we'll touch on the labels first, shall we? Labels. Yeah, okay. Let's go labels and just tell the viewers about labels and giftings, and because I know with yours and my gift, one of the gifts out of hundreds is the investigator, is the detective work, because we find it's just simply we're born with it. We enhanced it. So let's talk about labels.
Okay, labels. Well, I mean, I've got Spirit talking to me right now.
Yeah, me too.
There are no labels. Do not label yourself. And I've had other healers that have come to me for sessions say to me, you know, I don't really know what to call myself, or what do you call yourself? And I say to them, I am everything. You are everything. You are everything you want yourself to be, and you are also everything at that given moment. So whatever it is, remember, we're all working for Spirit, we're all working for the collective consciousness, we're all working for the earth, the planets, and Creator, or whoever you want to call, God, Source, as some people call the energy at the center of everything. We're all working for them. So with discernment, I don't do labels. I'm like you, Heather. I don't do labels. I am what I need to be at that given moment. So if I'm called to do some mediumship, that's what I will do. If I'm out walking somewhere and then touching on the land thing, and all of a sudden I'll get Spirit, I can feel them come in. I can feel them right here with me right now. I'm tingling all over. And if I get, you know, because I hear them now, if I get them saying, right, there's some work needing to be done. So we have a conversation inside my head. Okay, show me this. Show me what we need to do. And then quite often they'll show me like a mini video. And I will hear things. I'll hear, literally, it's like watching a movie back in a timeline of stuck energy that's on that land.
Yeah.
And this has happened to me in several places where I've been. And the fact that Spirit have showed me all this, I know that they're behind me 100% to actually do that clearing. So you can't go in willy-nilly, so I say, just going in thinking, oh yeah, that needs to be cleared and that needs to be cleared. You've got to have Spirit's backing. Spirit,
yes.
Spirit with you.
Spirit's permission.
Absolutely, yeah.
It all comes down to the permission.
It does. And with Spirit's permission or soul permission, you can do anything as long as you have permission. So even if I was to be here in New Zealand and say I'm going off somewhere in our camper van, and this quite often happens, I'll reach a point, and I haven't actually done any land clearing of spirit, but I have done land clearing of energy, not very nice energy here. But I'll get the call, so to speak. Okay, some work needs to be done. So they'll show me what needs to be done, and then I will here, actually, this seems to work really, really well. I'll do some vibrational sound toning and singing. And just by doing that, that clears that any negative energy from that people land. But I will only do it if our Spirit are with me and tell me to do it.
Because of the frequency that you hold, the purity, I know the purity within you and myself.
Yeah.
You know, I that's why I'm really hot, guys. I'm really hot that you have to clear yourself.
Absolutely.
You have to turn up, clean up, ship out to do and to be able to do this work, because it's just not for the willy-nilly.
Yeah.
So the frequency that you just said, now I'm buzzing and I'm tingling, because I said to you yesterday, the frequency that comes through you, because you are of that frequency, because it's a match,
yeah.
Just that frequency can change and alter the state of a something in the land and buildings and bodies when you're working on someone.
Yeah.
And I'd like to top that off with, when it comes through, you have to act on it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
When it comes through, you can't wait for another week or two, because you have to wait for permission of who owns that land. Well, actually, that's a lot of bullshit. Yeah. You cannot contain God in a box.
No, that's right.
And anyway, this is God's land.
Yes.
It doesn't belong to humans.
Yeah.
It is Mother Earth, Mother Father One. Yeah. And this is who we are. Yeah. So back to the labels. What could I call you? I mean, oh, wow. Yeah. You
well,
just is.
Yeah.
We came up with the word of clean Gnostic. No. We just call ourselves.
There really is no total label that describes what we and many other healers, I will say, can do. Because if you haven't put a wall up about doing something or a label on something, then you can do everything, but only when the time's right.
You know,
so I don't know what label that you would call us, to be honest.
For the website, you know, I looked at your website, and I'm doing a little bit of work for you too, and I looked at mine and I go, services. And I sat here just before we came on. What is my services? Well, actually, grief counsellor, trauma, hereditary DNA, quantum physics, inner child works, relationship coach, technical coach, visionary, psychic, medium,
time traveler. You know, you can name it. You could actually, if you was to put everything down on your services page, you wouldn't have enough room on your page.
No. No.
So,
So, so someone said, "Oh, you've got to take it back down to 3," and I'm going, "Okay, so I'll take everything down to 3." No, look, let's just tune up because I don't put anything in a box.
yeah,
You don't put anything in a box, so we'll just give people, people, the capabilities is magical, isn't it, Ginny?
it is.
Whatever you need in that moment is where Ginny and I come in.
Yeah.
And we can be birthers, we can be midwives of souls, we can, my passion is everything. But, you know, with hundreds of people that have died in my arms, you know, you could call that something.
Yeah.
Or in dementia wards, or where I worked and walked the wards, and all these other things. Life is magical.
Yeah, it is.
It's so magical, and the fascination of it all.
Yeah.
Because we are in joy with the work that we do.
Yeah.
And with Ginny and I, there's no hoo-ha or woo-hoo.
No.
We just simply turn up, and we may have one wee mantra. Again, we mentioned it last week. We call in north, south, east, and west, because we know who we are.
Yeah.
And we tap into that. So, discernment.
Yeah.
It all comes down to discernment.
It does. You really have. You've got to be true in all ways. I also want to touch a little bit more on the label thing, because, you know, I've had people say to me, "Oh, I can't do that." And I want to say to people out there that are watching this, don't put blocks on yourself. You can do anything you actually want to do, especially in this line of work, in the spiritual realms. We've all got a spiritual team with us. They will step forward if you're willing to work with you in whatever way you want. And it's down to you. If you agree and say, "Yes, I can do that," you're stating that fact, you're putting it out to the universe, and then you get the help of your team to help you come in and do it. But they will guide you. So you need to have, this is what I feel that everyone who's opening up needs to work on themselves to the point where they're fine-tuned to feel or hear or the wisdom of their spiritual team, but be in full contact with God, with your spiritual team, with your guides. And I have guides for different things that I do. I have healing guides. I have guides that come in that are just for when I do any ghost busting or soul rescue, or guides that come in and do land clearing. And since being in New Zealand, I now realise, or have found out over the last sort of 2 years, that I have a team of Maori elders guides with me.
And do you know why you have them? It's because they recognise you.
Yeah.
And that you are willing to be a voice.
Absolutely.
To what is supposed to be said.
Yeah.
I have had a lot of experience. Because we're willing, and there's no discrimination of colour, creed, or race.
Absolutely, I don't do that. I in my naivety, I will say, I get quite shocked when someone starts saying about the race thing. Not when we're discussing it like this, but when someone is actually racist.
Yeah.
I actually, in my innocence, I actually get quite shocked, because that doesn't even go through my mind.
Can I say something with that, my darling? And viewers, when you are critical, and when you are judgmental, and when you think that you are holier than anybody else, you're holding a low vibration.
Yeah, that's right.
And what happens is the law of physics, the law of mystical physics, of simply everything, is that's the only guide or conversation you're going to have with someone on the other side. Yeah. Match. If your frequency is so low and you are so judgmental of another human being and their giftings and their colour, their creed, their race, where they come from, you will only get the lowest vibration from the spiritual realm, because God and the angels turn their back. Yeah. They will not have anything to do with you, because in the spiritual realm, because I've been there, I've died, I know what's on the other side. If you're prepared to let go of the ropes, of conditioning, of ego, of whatever you're carrying, then there's a mighty wonderful life out there for you.
And it is magical.
And it's magical, and you know, you've got the flat line. Oh, let's go this way. You've got the flat line. It's all this way, because we don't go anywhere, the spiritual realm. You have the flat line. Then you have the astral plane. But beyond that is the cosmic plane of all that is I am that I am. Yeah. And up there, your life is magical. And, you know, I have tears in my eyes saying this, Ginny, and I'm too, and buzzing.
Yeah, me too.
You know, Ginny, something happened to me this week. Someone said to me that I'm emotionless.
No.
That I don't react when someone's in a something, or screaming or yelling, or in a depressional mode, or oppressed, depressed mode. And I just stand there, and everyone, this person said that I was emotionless.
No, I totally understand.
I thought, oh my gosh, do I need healing from that? No, hang on, wait a minute.
No, you don't.
What it is that I chose to face myself.
Well, that's what I think it is.
My parents' past, my grandparents' past, the war past, the stories that have been told generation. I cleared that shit up.
Yes, that's exactly it.
For me to stand there in a state of what you would call emotion, but I tell you what, if you look deeper, I think I must be the most loving, compassionate woman upon this earth plane.
Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying, Heather, because I'm the same. I don't react when someone's breaking down in front of me. Yes, I feel for them. I'm a human. Of course I feel for them. But it is the fact that you've worked on yourself so much that at those moments you are fully in alignment, and you don't need to react. You allow them to express whatever it is. You allow them to cry. It's almost like you're a pillar of strength. And it is because we've cleared so much. And this is not just stuff in this lifetime. This is stuff right back from the soul spark, cleared. So, I mean, you know, if you look at it from a different scenario point of view, if you had an angel in front of you and you were ranting and raving and blah, 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 and all this, or a spirit guide, or a guru that's living, like the Dalai Lama, for instance, or a guru
he would laugh.
Exactly. But if you had someone like that, and you were that guide, that angel, that Dalai Lama, or that guru, and you had someone ranting and raving and going in front of you, or crying and expecting a reaction or anything like that, they wouldn't react either. They would just stand and allow you to express, allow you to just release whatever it is that needs to come out. And that's because they've worked on themselves.
Exactly.
And that's what it is.
So this is why Ginny and I we're hot on the topic of inner child work.
Yeah.
Because what it is basically is when someone's trying to kick my shins because they're not getting my full attention. Well, they've got my full attention. Well, it's because they're throwing their little wee tantrum and their inner child is coming out like a little brat.
Yeah.
And I don't participate in nonsense.
No.
Let me stress that again. We don't participate in nonsense, but we are there until you are ready in your free will to come and go, help.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Help. And this is where Ginny and I get in, and we get into the nitty gritty and we take you places that you never ever thought of.
Yeah.
And it's incredible and it's loving and it's very scary right at the very beginning. Yeah. Again, you know, deep tissue work, deep cellular memory, deep DNA, whatever you want to call it, DNA. If you're going to have to use that word DNA, I'll use that word DNA.
Yeah.
How else? If we, with the works that we're doing, Ginny, we wouldn't be able to stand up in front of hordes of people. No. With a click of a finger, a healing takes place.
That's right.
You know, it's an incredible journey. Again, let's get back to it because I was just I could just go on and on and on and on.
The sky is limitless, literally.
And you're seeing, Ginny, in our zone. This is our zone. When we jump in our zone, this is our zone. Well, we're in the zone all the time.
Yeah.
Creativity comes in.
Absolutely. That's very important.
So the conversation that Ginny and I are having here, it's rippling out.
Yeah.
It's touching because of our frequency of our love for our work. It touches many people and we'll carry that all the time.
Yeah. That's a good point, actually, Heather, because we live what we do. We're not in it part-time. And that's also very important. If you live in this frequency, you're going to see the magic. You're going to see the sky's the limit. You're going to experience wonderful opportunities, abundant flow, you know, all sorts of stuff. Because you're living in that higher frequency and you're living and loving what you do 100% of the time. It's very important as well with the word love. Love is the highest frequency. If you live in love and you express love, you feel love, whether it's for the animal kingdom, for humanity, for the planet Earth, for the plant kingdoms, that keeps you in that higher vibration yourself, you know, let alone you're giving it out to other people. It's all that really high frequency and it's all about love. Thank you for that. I just want to say, I want to bring up the word investigator and discernment because you, as I heard you speaking, don't ever think that Ginny and I don't feel. Absolutely. When we see something wrong towards another human being, if I talk about picking up the pieces, if I see something disrespectful or cruel or hideous towards another human being, I swipe. Yeah. Because I can do that, and I will share just briefly for those who are out there that are suffering. And you've been to healer and healer and healer and healer and healer, looking and seeking, which we all do. Everybody does, because your soul essence is seeking, help me. Yeah. And you have had some bad experiences because of my detective work and my investigating. It all exposes itself. Yeah. What has been set in motion must expose itself. I've seen some hideous stuff over this last week, 2 weeks, with regards to precious human beings. They've been left with a label, a hideous label. If you are that true healer, you will never ever leave your client or another human being suffering. No, sorry. Because that's not of God. And I'm going to say that. God does not leave
another human being to wait for a whole week, or 2 weeks, or 3 weeks to come back and let's deal with it.
Yeah.
That is not God. I mean, if you go back into the biblical times and Jesus's times, you know, and the Jesus dude is with us quite a lot, he never left a human being in torment.
No.
So again, Ginny, we've got a lot of things coming up because that's who we are.
Yeah.
We go in, we clean up, we have pristine, high perception, whatever you want to call it. These are all just labels. Now I'm going to have to be careful with my words. Oh, but look, it's just words.
That's right, it's just words.
And yeah, that's who we are.
Yeah. And I want to say to the people out there, you
know, detectives.
Yeah, we are psychic detectives, medical intuitives, whatever you want to, they're all labels, and like I keep saying, this stuff's all natural. Everyone can do it. And this is what I want to say as well. If you're working on yourself and you want to be able to do all this stuff, or you see someone else that's out there doing it and you want to be like them, don't be like them.
Be you.
Be you. But look, it really is the most important thing you can do for yourself is work on you. The more you clear the crap out your own system, and it's better if you can do it yourself, but we all have been to healers and done programs and everything else to help all this stuff come up. But the more you work on yourself and clear the dross from maybe what happened from you from childhood or relationship stuff or whatever it is, even some past life stuff needs to be cleared. I've had that myself. The more you do that, you literally are, if you can picture a vessel that is clogged and thick with goo or whatever you call it, the more you clear yourself, the more that goo, that heaviness, that energy, that negative energy or lower frequency stuff is being lifted off. And you know what happens when it's gone? You rise up, you rise out, your light shines, your frequency gets bigger. And you feel the love for yourself as well as for everyone else.
I love listening to you talk. Hey, as you were doing that, I said to my students, my weekly students, everybody's busy drawing in. How about we just blow out for this whole hour? Let's start and if you can't keep your breath, just keep blowing it out. Blow that stuff out. Visualize a bucket. Stick it in the bucket of violet flame. Yeah. Blow that stuff out. Go around every day. A thought comes in, feeling comes in. Instead of like this, how about you just go?
Get rid of it. Yeah. Shake it out. Shake it out with your hand.
Shake it out. Turn some music on. Shake it out. I mean, yesterday I felt, I'm a great believer. When you start thinking about something or someone, get this, when you start thinking about something or someone or something rises up, and especially in my memory, I lost a lot of memory. Something came up for me yesterday. Must have been when I was a little girl. And all of a sudden, it was there. And I felt myself, and all of a sudden, I watched myself. I'm starting to remember horrific stuff that happened as a little girl. And I'm going, oh. And then next minute, I had that like in the tips of my fingers. Next minute, there was someone from 2 or 3 years ago. I thought of them at the same time. And I thought, oh, my gosh, here we go. What's coming up for me? What's developing for me? I burst out laughing.
Did you?
Because I remembered my own teachings, actually. When you think of something or a feeling that's happened to you or an experience that's happened to you, actually, that person is actually thinking about you right there in that moment.
Yeah.
So what did I do? I cut.
Yeah. Cut the cords.
Cut the cords from that.
Yeah.
Cut the cords and ties and go, I will not have this anymore.
Yeah.
And then I just go like that, and I pushed it away. So that was that interference from someone from a few years ago. Yeah. And then I went back and I was able to mend that part of what happened years ago. Oh, little girl.
Yeah.
And I devoted my time in that. So when you've got something that pops up that needs to be looked at or loved, and then you get an outside interference, guess what? Because there's love being directed there, there's going to be an outside interference, and you have to use your discernment.
Yeah.
Deeply, I stress that you have to use your discernment. Otherwise, your day's going to be a crash out day, and you're going to be all emotional and tearful and everything else. And you can do it really fast. Yeah. Now, speaking on that, guys, I didn't want to say this, but I am going to say it. Ginny's got some amazing meditations coming up, and both her and I are working on that for her. And we're getting the platform connected because what she has got to give to the world is pretty incredible. So I'm working with Ginny with that. With me, I've decided to step out even further. I'm going to put a services tab up there, but I'm multi-dimensional. First, I'm going to help people. If they want an interview, I'm going to interview them. I'm going to go back to my grief and trauma counselling. I'm going to go back to my online course, and I'm going to go back to inner child words. But this is the good thing. I love networking. And I'll pull Ginny in when she needs me, or when I need her, and she's going to pull me in. So with Ginny's, her meditation, guys, it's, I've been around quite a lot of years. But when you hear Ginny, the breakthroughs that you'll receive through her is exceptionally incredible.
Thank you.
I just wanted to do a spin for you.
I want to say something huge too, actually, because I had a new client come yesterday, and he said to me, I was searching online and I came across your website. And he said, it was watching your interview for the summit that you were on that actually made me decide that you were the right person.
Oh, beautiful.
So there we are, Heather. That's confirmation for you that that's definitely the right thing. Because for someone to have that interview on their website and be totally themselves, you really are showing your true essence. So for anyone listening here, Heather has helped me a lot with the technical stuff and all that. And I'm really, really grateful for that. But if you decide to go and have an interview with Heather and have it so you've got the digital file you can put on your own website, honestly, it'll make a difference. As long as when you're in the interview, you are your natural, true self, because that's who people want to see. And people who are listening to these interviews and to us even, their gut instinct, because everyone's got this, their gut instinct is going to tell them in a roundabout way, in however way they feel it, whether that is true to their soul or not. So it is important, really is important to be yourself. And you know what? Don't worry about what other people think. Just be your natural self. If you're a bit quirky, be quirky. Because there will be people out there that are drawn to you for you being you, not for you pretending to be like something else that you're not.
Oh, I got teardrops.
And Heather really knows what she's doing. And like I said, I had this new client yesterday come to me and said it was your interview that I watched that made me realise that you were the person I needed to come see. Proof.
Thank you.
God is behind us. With us.
Thank you. What I love about these interviews, Ginny, is and creating this for people, is that I see them, we see them.
Yeah.
And that's why a space is made to and I nurture you to come out in that interview.
Yeah.
And I might stumble a little bit, but finally, ultimately, all of a sudden, he or she is out of that and they are soaring and greatness happens. So thank you.
Absolutely. You're
Ginny.
Very, very good at doing that, getting people to step out. And you're a brilliant interviewer. You really are.
Thank you. Well, on that note, let's carry back on. Look, honestly, thank you for being here. This is, again, our weekly candid talks.
I just want to say about the cord cutting.
Yes, please.
When I do cord cutting, I make a conscious effort, and I do this every single time, is that I send love down that cord back to that person, and I actually picture it. So your imagination is very important as well. Picture it going back into that person, and it's going with love. It's not going with hate or whatever else. It's going with pure love. And you also draw your energy and love back into you. So I see the cord cut and it go its ways that it needs to go. But I've got something else that I also do with, I actually do this when I'm doing inner child work, because this is how I see it. My imagination, and spirit use my imagination all the time, is very, very important to me, because that's where I get a lot of my guidance. So what I see sometimes is, if you've been in a shopping mall, or you've been to a party or something, and the atmosphere has been really negative, and you come out of there and you could almost like feel like you've got the goo on you. When you come out of there, imagine that you're wearing this see-through suit and the goo is just stuck on the outside of that, and you can unzip it, take it off, slip through, and it's gone. It's as simple as that. Then you're releasing all that stuff you don't need anymore.
I love that one.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I won't tell you that story about being in front of all these people at the International Quality Inn. And as I went out, as I turned around to begin, all I could see was everybody in like this. And I will say it, in condoms. It was like these big condoms, like Spirit was showing me.
Yeah.
And I go, oh my gosh, look at you all. You put light, bubble and light bubbles all around you, and protection. You don't need protecting.
No.
You just need clear the way, because we don't want you to be like this as these beautiful human beings. We want your heart space to be opened up.
Yeah.
So before I began this evening session with people, this live healing event, I took off all the condoms, because I didn't want to talk to people like this. I wanted to make them feel so secure that you don't have to hide from anything once you understand how everything is in a relationship. That's the spiritual, mentally, physically, whatever. Life is fabulous. On that note, it is our time to end. And I want to say, look, thank you for being here. You're getting to know me and Ginny even more deeper than what everybody expected us to be. And from our hearts, we're just opening up to you all.
Absolutely. We're being naturally who we are. We're showing our true essence. And I want to thank you all for listening. And Heather, I want to thank you for everything that you do.
I want to thank you too. On that note, it's goodbye. We're going to see you next week. Again, our credentials, if you want to be in contact with us, if you've got even a question.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be going on and on and on and on, because we're going to talk about everything.
Yeah.
And
we might even talk about some personal things that have happened to us some weeks.
I'd love to talk about that. I'm sure people would love to know what it's like dying.
Yeah.
And of course, your journey into cancer.
Yes.
Between Ginny and I, yes, I have had a huge thing happen in my life. Ginny's had a huge thing happen in her life.
Yeah.
But that was an indicator that life is going to be absolutely fabulous on planet Earth.
Absolutely.
And a motto, I'm going to leave you with a little wee motto. Go out, turn the music on, laugh, you are safe, you are whole, and you're well, and you have never, ever, ever been unsafe, because there's always someone watching over you.
Absolutely.
Tap into those angels.
And remember, the sky is the limit.
Mm.
You are limitless.
See you next week.
See you next week.